Sir Brian Harold May, born on July 19, 1947, is a man whose life cannot be captured in a single description. To some, he is one of the greatest guitarists of all time, the co-founder of a band whose music has defined generations. To others, he is a scientist whose curiosity about the universe led him to pursue the stars, quite literally as an astrophysicist. And to many more, he is a compassionate advocate who has spent years fighting for animals and the environment. Few individuals embody such a remarkable combination of creativity, intellect, and empathy, yet Brian May has lived a life where all these elements coexist harmoniously. His fame first took root through music. As the lead guitarist and backing vocalist of Queen, a band he formed with Freddie Mercury and Roger Taylor, Brian played an indispensable role in creating a sound that would eventually conquer the world. His unique guitar tones, songwriting, and stage presence helped shape Queen into one of the greatest and most enduring musical groups in history. That success also brought him immense financial rewards, and today his fortune is estimated at around $260 million, built not only from Queen's success, but also from his solo work, scientific endeavors, and tireless humanitarian efforts. Brian's story began in Hampton Hill, Middlesex, where he was born to Ruth Irving and Harold May, his father, a draftsman for the Ministry of Aviation, and his Scottish mother raised him as their only child. From a very start, Brian displayed a sharp mind and an eagerness to learn. He first attended Hanworth Road State Primary School before winning a scholarship to Hampton Grammar School at the age of 11. It was here that his love for music began to flourish. Along with school friends such as Tim Staffel, he formed his first band, naming it 1984 after George Orwell's novel. This early experience planted the seeds of what would one day become his legendary career in rock. Academically, he was equally gifted. He excelled in his studies, securing 10 ordinary level passes and 3 advanced levels in mathematics and physics. His intellectual journey led him to Imperial College London, where he pursued a degree in physics and mathematics, graduating with honors in 1968. Although invited to work at the prestigious Jodrell Bank Observatory by Sir Bernard Lovell, Brian chose instead to remain at Imperial, balancing his research with his growing commitment to his band Smile, the precursor to Queen. Decades later, in 2007, he fulfilled a dream that had been set aside for music, completing his PhD in astrophysics. That accomplishment tied together the two great passions of his life, science and art. On a personal level, Brian's life has been marked by love, loss, and resilience. He married Christine Mullen in 1976, and together they had 3 children. Unfortunately, their marriage ended in 1988, a painful chapter for Brian. 2 years before their separation, he had met actress Anita Dobson, who would later become not just his wife, but his creative muse, inspiring the Queen hit I Want It All. They married in 2000, and their relationship remains one of strength and support. Yet the late 1980s and early 1990s were also some of his darkest times. The collapse of his first marriage, his struggles with his role as a husband and father, and the devastating deaths of both his father and Freddie Mercury pushed him into a deep depression. Still, through music and determination, he found the strength to recover and continue creating. Brian has always lived by strong convictions. Shaped by his father's heavy smoking, he became a firm opponent of tobacco and banned smoking at his concerts long before governments introduced restrictions. In 2020, after participating in the Veganuary Challenge, he fully embraced veganism, linking it to concerns for animal welfare, environmental protection, and human health. Spiritually, he does not claim adherence to a particular religion, but holds a belief in a higher force. His love for animals and nature has long been evident. In 2012, he purchased land in Dorset to save it from development and transformed it into Maze Wood, a forest sanctuary with 100,000 trees across 157 acres. This flourishing woodland stands as a living monument to his devotion to wildlife. Even scientists paid tribute to him, naming a Brazilian species of damselfly heteragrium briemei in his honor, acknowledging not only his music but also his influence in conservation. Health challenges have also shaped his later years. In 2020, he suffered a heart attack that required the placement of 3 stents. 4 years later, in 2024, he endured a minor stroke that briefly limited movement in his left arm. Yet his passion for music carried him forward, and he continued to play the guitar that had made him famous, proving that his bond with music was unbreakable. The rise of Queen remains one of the greatest stories in rock history. Brian first joined forces with Tim Staffel and Roger Taylor in 1968 to form Smile. The band dissolved after 2 years, but when Staffel left, Brian and Roger teamed up with Freddie Mercury and John Deacon to form Queen in 1970. With their groundbreaking sound and electrifying performances, they quickly began climbing the ladder of success. Queen 2 in 1974 gave them early recognition, but it was sheer heart attack and A Night at the Opera that launched them into global stardom. Bohemian Rhapsody became a cultural phenomenon, staying 9 weeks at #1 in the UK charts. Albums like News of the World produced unforgettable anthems, such as We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions, cementing their status as legends. Brian's influence went beyond his guitar playing. His handmade instrument, the Red Special, created a distinctive tone that powered hits like Tie Your Mother Down, I Want It All, Fat Bottom Girls, Who Wants to Live Forever, and, of course, We Will Rock You. He also contributed lead vocals on tracks such as Sleeping on the Sidewalk. Queen's crowning live moment came at the 1985 Live Aid concert, a performance often hailed as the greatest in rock history. Their unity shone through songs like One Vision, created soon afterward. Although Freddie Mercury's death in 1991 was a crushing blow, Queen's music continued to thrive. The band's record sales, estimated between 170 and 300 million, made them one of the best-selling acts ever. Their induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2001 confirmed their enduring influence. Brian May's life is one of brilliance, an artist who gave the world timeless music, a scientist who reached for the stars, and a humanitarian who stood up for nature and animals. Through success and hardship, he has remained true to his values and passions. His story is not just one of fame and achievement, but of resilience, compassion, and the pursuit of knowledge, leaving behind a legacy that spans music, science, and humanity itself.